Herbie Tiopi. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Herb.
A couple questions on two injured guys, L'Jarius Sneed and Sammy Watkins. How close is Sneed to being clear from the concussion protocol? And with Watkins, when you missed practice on Friday, was that just holding back on him, preparing him for this week?
Yeah, so both guys practiced today. Sneed's good to go. He's been cleared. And Sammy worked today. That was just a precautionary thing.
Thank you, Coach.
We'll go next to Nick Jacobs. Go ahead, Nick.
Andy, I'm curious for you, given what you went through last year with the Super Bowl, how much does that benefit you guys having gone through that experience and what to expect and prepare?
Yeah, Nick. This is different because of what we're doing right now. And we're here in Kansas City as opposed to being in Tampa. Last year, we would have already been in Miami doing our thing. So down there, but I don't think you have quite as many distractions as maybe what you'd have in a normal Super Bowl week when you're out of facility. But you still know it's there. You still know that there's a game ahead that is the Super Bowl, and you're able to focus on that part of it probably a little bit better, I would probably say.
Next to Clarence Hill, Fort Worth Star-Telegraph. Go ahead, Clarence.
Hey, Coach. There's been so much talk about Eric Bieniemy not getting the job. Were you upset? I know Bruce Arians said he was pissed off that the Leftwich didn't get even an interview. But were you upset for Bieniemy, and what needs to happen for him to break through?
Yeah, Clarence, I don't really know. I don't know the answer to that last part of that. Am I upset? Yeah. I'm a big fan of his, and I know what he can help do for a team, and most of all for the National Football League. And so I think he's so deserving of that opportunity, and I'm hoping someday it comes. I was expecting it last year and it didn't happen. I definitely thought it would happen this year and it didn't happen, but I can't tell you the last part of your question. I think he's as ready as anybody.
Let's go next to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, first of all, congratulations on being back at the big game. Vita Vea coming back. What makes him so good, and how does he disrupt things for you?
I missed that first. Who was that?
Vita Vea, the defensive tackle for the Bucs.
Yeah, no, Vita is he's a heck of a football player, and he is disruptive. He does a nice job inside there, and he didn't play the last time we played him. So, we respect him as a football player, and we know how talented he is.
Ron May. Go ahead, Jerron.
Hey, Coach, you've been to 3 Super Bowls as a head coach. Where does this one rank among all of them, especially with a difficult season with COVID and all the other extracurricular details that you've been dealing with?
Yeah, it's unique. So I would tell you that it's an honor to have the opportunity to play Tampa Bay in what's obviously a historic game from the standpoint that there's never been a home team that's played at their own facility. So I think that's a unique situation, and we look forward to that. We look forward to the challenge of playing them. And compared to other Super Bowls, I have a hard time comparing one to the other. It's they're all so different, and this one surely is unique with the COVID situation that we've been in.
Go next to Paul Domowich. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Andy, how you doing?
Good, Domo.
The Bucs have played extremely well since you guys beat them in Week 12. Besides the fact that they didn't have Vita, looking at the tape, what are the biggest differences you've seen in them over the last 7 games in their play?
Well, listen, they're playing organized football all the way around. I mean, in all three phases. So they're not making many mistakes. They're creating turnovers on the defensive side. They're keeping the turnover level down on the offensive side. The running back situation, I think, is even stronger with Fournette being able to work in there and feel comfortable. They've got the good wide receivers that we faced before, but I think they're probably more on the same page with with Brady than they were back when we played them. So all the way around, it's they're healthier and they're playing at a higher level.
Let's go next to Jeff McClain. Go ahead, Jeff.
Andy, you mentioned obviously Eric Bieniemy, but what about you have another assistant in Mike Kafka that was mentioned as a possible head coaching candidate this past year. He took his name reportedly out of the running on some of those. So what was your advice to him, and what do you make of his qualifications for someday being a head coach, maybe even jumping from quarterback coach to head coach like you did so many years ago?
Yeah, Jeff, listen, he's a good football coach. And he's just getting started in this thing. And it's there's been interest in him for sure, and rightly so. And I know his future is bright.
Let's go next to Susie Colbert. Go ahead, Susie.
Hi, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Susie.
Great. So, Steve Young today on our call was talking about usually like Super Bowl hangovers are usually about personalities. What's been so key for you to have, such an unbelievably unselfish attitude on this team and to build a culture that was able to make it back to this game?
Yeah, listen, our guys, I think, enjoy being around each other. Brett Veach did a nice job of bringing everybody back, and they're an unselfish bunch that like to play, and they like to play together, and that I think that's one of our strengths as a football team. So it's a great culture. It starts with Clark Hunt at the top there as our owner, and it just kind of filters on down again to us. So it's a very good organization, very well run organization.
Let's go next to Dave Scretta. Go ahead, Dave.
Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Patrick, happy Super Bowl week to you.
Oh.
Hey, Tom Brady just mentioned that a lot of the things he was asked about what he would like to do that you can do. Mm-hmm. And he said one of them is, throwing further and a couple other things. I'd like to reverse that question. Are there any things of Tom Brady that you would like to do outside of course, winning 6 Super Bowl championships?
Yeah, and there's a ton. The way he's able to dissect defenses before the snap is something that I truly admire, that I'm trying to get to that level. The way he's able to move within the pocket and to be able to reset his feet and be completely calm and still make the throw right on the money, no matter who's around him, is something that I have to continue to work on. And as I continue in my career, I'm just going to try to do whatever I can to watch the tape on him, because he's doing it the right way. And you can tell by how many Super Bowl championships he has and the rings that are on his fingers.
Let's go next to Lindsey Jones. Go ahead, Lindsey.
Hi, Patrick. I've got 2 parts, but they're related here. It seems like we're seeing you everywhere now when we're watching television, different commercials, all those sorts of things. So what has been your strategy kind of through your career, and particularly since you signed the contract last summer, about how you wanted to build your off-field brand, your investments, your portfolio? Are there any athletes that you've kind of modeled yourself after? And then as part of that, why have you and Brittany specifically wanted to invest in the Kansas City athletic community with the Royals and the NWSL?
Yeah, to the first part of your question, I think the biggest thing for me is kind of forming people around me that are great people. The partners that I kind of become partners with, the companies that I represent, they all have great leadership. They all have great people throughout that company. And I like to enhance my brand by being a part of that, being a part of great companies that have done it the right way for a long time. And then to the part about Kansas City, I think the thing with me and Brittany is we want to invest in this community as much as they've invested into us. And as far as me investing in the Royals and becoming a part owner in there, And really, that's one of my joys I've always had with baseball. And then her with the NWSL team and bringing them back to Kansas City, a place where women's soccer is really, really emphasized and supported. It's just the tip of the iceberg, and we want to continue to invest in this community to be the best community that it possibly can be.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Patrick. You were joking after the Buffalo game about Tom Brady and saying this was 150 Super Bowls and stuff for him. But I wanted to ask you, in all seriousness, what kind of role model has he been when you were a younger football player? I mean, what kind of influence did he have on you maybe wanting to go into football, if any? I mean, did you, when you decide you were going to play football instead of other sports, was it, hey, I want to be like this guy, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a young athlete and you play any sport and you don't look up to guys like Tom Brady, then you're crazy. I mean, the guy that's had success year in and year out continues to make himself better and not be satisfied with where he's at. He's the type of greatness that you strive to be like and to be towards as you grow up. And so for me, I grew up watching him play, and he's still here playing, and he's still at the top of the game. So for me, I just continue to watch him and watch the things that he does on and off the field in order to figure out the best way to make me the best player possible.
Let's go next to Brian Costello. Go ahead, Brian.
Patrick, just wondering if you could describe what this last year has been like for you, going back to the Super Bowl last year, all the success you've had in the field, getting the contract, expecting your new baby. Just hard to imagine having a better year than the one you've had.
Yeah, I mean, it's full of ups and downs. I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, obviously, winning the Super Bowl, amazing. Being able to celebrate that first championship in 50 years in the Chiefs Kingdom, the parade, all that was awesome. And then we got hit with the pandemic, and I think as a country and as the world, we all strive to continue to try to keep each other safe and keep ourselves safe. And then with all the social injustices and things going on in that realm, as a nation, we've had to find ways to strive and make ourselves better there. And then now back into football season and then back in another Super Bowl. I mean, it's full of ups and downs, and I've just kind of realized that I can control what I can control, and that is to be the best person, the best player, and the best person in the community that I can be every single day.
Let's go next to Caleb Byrne. Go ahead, Caleb.
Hi, Mr. Mahomes. Thank you so much and congrats.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
So I know one of your buds, Tyrann Mathieu, is nicknamed the Honey Badger for how he plays on the field. But what do you think your spirit animal nickname is?
Man, spirit animal nickname. I would like to be like a wolf. I feel like a wolf, kind of running around with my pack and being able to be a leader and someone that continues to attack and continues to lead as much as possible.
What about your bud, Travis Kelce? What do you think his is?
Travis, man, it's got to be something funny. I think he'd be like a giraffe. He's kind of just out there grazing around the field, trying to make something happen. Find his different things that he can run around and do stuff with, and he's always a good time.
All right, thank you so much, and good luck on the Super Bowl.
Thank you.
Let's go next to James Palmer. Go ahead, James.
Patrick, Tom's very open about guys your age, if they want to put the time in with their bodies, can play to the age that he's playing at. Have you thought of that as a barometer? If you want to play to 43, 45, and do you already start putting your body through that about maybe having that?
I mean, yeah, you have to. I think that's the biggest thing. If you want to play this sport for a long time, how physical it is, you have to invest as much time into your body as you do anything else. And so I've learned more and more in my young career so far about what I can do to keep myself available and healthy and try to be in the best nutritional state I can be in. I feel like I've gotten better, but yeah, I want to play as long as they let me. But in order to do that, I have to take care of my body as much as I take care of everything else on the field.
Let's go next to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Patrick, how you doing, man?
Doing good.
Hey, Andy talked last week, and he called you a gym rat. And I know you put in countless hours during the regular season, and you just talked about routine. And I know that You have different media responsibilities this week, but do you feel like you're putting in more or less time at the facility with everything that's happening this week?
Yeah, definitely more. I mean, you got to kind of invest everything you possibly can for this game, especially playing the team that we're playing. I think I used the last week as a normal game week, put all the film down, got the different breakdowns in, everything like that, and then took advantage of every practice day that we had. Then I'm just going to restart it and do it all over again this week. And so having the 2 weeks, you don't want to take a day for granted. Obviously, you have to do the media stuff, and you're appreciative of that and being able to come out here and talk to everybody. But at the same time, you make sure that you're getting your work done. All that prepares you for the game, because that's the most important thing.
And then on top of that, just the ultimate family man. And he makes everybody in the room feel like they're a part of the family, a part of the brotherhood. And it's just it's fun playing with him, man. When you got a leader like that, man, it makes everything easier and everything contagious, man. You just want to, bottle it up and go out there and play for him.
All right, next we're going to go to Joey Redman. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, what's up, Travis? Thank you, bud.
All right.
Just after the last AFC Championship game, you did your best Beastie Boys impression, which I know we all really appreciated. And then after the AFC Championship game this year, I don't know if you caught, but they were playing that song in the stadium after you guys won, seemingly in honor of you. Is there a victory song, perhaps, that you've maybe considered at the end of Sunday, if you were to grab the microphone again and give us another good musical impression?
Listen, man, I don't know. Honestly, it was all instincts when I first did the Fight for Your Right to Party on the stage when I was trying to take Nance's mic away. But I think it was something that Kansas City is very familiar with. A lot of people don't know this, but if you're in Arrowhead after a touchdown, we play that song. And that's what got the crowd fired up when I started to say the chant. And I'm not sure if it would ever be anything else other than that. If I were to, get on the mic and start singing something.
All right, next we're going to go to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, what's up, Trav?
Steve.
Hey, I was just on Patrick's Zoom a bit ago, and he was asked about what his spirit animal would be. And he said that he would be a wolf, being able to run around with his wolf pack. And he was also asked what he thought your spirit animal would be, and he said that you would be a giraffe. What do you think about that, man? And what would your spirit animal be?
I don't even know. What is, man, a giraffe?
That's what he said.
Come on, Pat. He just threw me. What he did was he threw me to the wolves, man. Golly. Man, I couldn't even tell you, man. So you're saying what would my spirit animal be?
Yes.
Man, I grew up a Heights Tiger, man. I grew up playing the eye of the tiger in every single sports moment in my life. So I feel like I've always had the eye of the tiger, man.
Cool, thanks.
All right, next we're going to go to...
You're not going to ask me what I think Pat's animal is? I won't even chime in on that.
All right, next up, we're going to go to Alvin Whitney. Go ahead, Alvin.
Hey, Trav, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Of course.
It's tough to win one Super Bowl. Talk about the feeling of being able to win back to back.
Oh, man. Just trying to build up the honestly, I don't know what it's going to feel like if I get that opportunity. And I don't want to think about what it would feel like, before it happens, because if it doesn't happen, man, it's going to be one of those most sickening things that I've ever gone through, man. To make it to the big show, I've been watching nothing but NFL films, recaps of previous Super Bowls and the stories that happened throughout those years and for both of the teams. And they were just kind of on replay yesterday, just going one after another. And to see the guys that didn't make it, didn't find a way to win. I hope that I never have that feeling ever, come to life. It's just, we put so much effort and so much thought and so much, dream and vision and everything goes into this week, last week, the 2 weeks going into the Super Bowl, that if it doesn't pan out for us, man, I don't even want to think about what that feeling would feel like. So I'm just going to go ahead and go out there and every single day just put in the work, enjoy the process with my brothers, and hope that we go out there and we put on a show and drag ourselves across the finish line, man.
Well, it's all about winning. I think any team you be a part of, I think the end result is all about wins and losses. And, obviously it's a winning culture. Coach Reid has always been a winner. So for me, it's all about, coming in, working hard, and just, keeping my head down.
This is Patrick from the Worldwide NFL Quarterback. Go ahead, Patrick.
Hey, Tyrann, I just wanted to mix it up a little bit, mate, and just ask you, what about yourself as a human particularly are you most proud of?
Oh, man. I'm a giver. I love to give my time. I'm not a person that's big on, material things or possessions. It's more so about, how I impact people, how I affect people, whether that's positively or negatively. But I'd probably say, the most important thing is that, I'm always willing to give, a little bit of me to help anybody else out.
We're going to go back to Darren Urban at ArizonaCardinals.com. Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, Tyrann.
Hey.
You touched on BA a little earlier, but I'm curious, especially after how close you guys came in 2015 and how that group was pretty optimistic. What's it like now going against so many of those coaches and seeing them in the Super Bowl? You're back there. Just that the relationships you had with a lot of those defensive coaches and guys that are over there on the other sideline this weekend.
Yeah, man. Those guys are great coaches. They were great coaches, back when we were in Arizona. And, I'd probably say they were a big reason why, we won so many games, out West. And, to see those guys, all of those guys really continue, coaching and continue teaching and continue leading. That says everything about those guys as a coach. They got a lot of young guys on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that play, at a big level. And I probably say a lot of that has to go to, those same coaches. I like to think about, the teams we had in Arizona, and, we were a well-coached, football team and I think that really gives you, the chance to go out and really, compete, each and every week to win games. And, like I said, it's good to see those guys continue to have some success in this league.
Tyrann, this is Jaron May. Jaron, go ahead.
Hey, Tyrann,
Hey.
appreciate your time. So Tom Brady, not completely sure if you saw earlier today, had some good things to say about you and your playing style. And the last time he talked about finding someone on every single play, it was Ed Reid when he wrote it down on his play calling sheet that he had to find 20 on every single play. What does it mean to you to have such high praise from what you just said is the greatest player of all time?
I mean, listen, I think that's why you play the game. You play the game for, respect from your coaches, your teammates, and then also your opponents as well. And, obviously I'm a big fan of Tom. I follow him, have always been a fan of him. And so to have somebody, that I idolize in a sense, even recognize me, obviously that's a proud moment for me. But once we step on the field, it's all about competing at a high level. It's all about trying to make the most out of, each opportunity, each play.
Next up, we're going to go to Mark Cannizzaro.
Yes, this is Mark Cannizzaro.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry about that.
Time
Yeah,
to come
Frank, I had a question about Tyrann Mathieu and just kind of what makes him so special, and how dangerous is he for an opposing offense with his unpredictability and the way that you guys move him around?
and you got the honey badger sometimes, and then other times you got the landlord, depending on which day it is. I think Sunday you might get a combination of both. So I'm gonna break it down to you this way without talking about it too much because we keep that confidential too. Honey badger, he's gonna make plays. He's gonna go out there and sacrifice his body. He gonna make extreme, crazy interceptions. His mindset is always stuck on kill the predator. You take over. It's very territorial. Then you got the landlord. The landlord, he demands his rent. Okay. Just like any other landlord, you come on his field, you must leave it clean. He don't want to be dirty. Landlord wants to be clean. Landlord demands plays. Landlord has to make plays, and you have to pay for it. So at the end of the day, if that don't describe him, then I don't know what else does.
All right, next up, we're going to go to Anthony Amy.
Hey, Frank, congratulations on getting back to the big game. My question is regarding this coaching cycle and these coaching cycles from the last few years. And please forgive me if you've answered this already. You know, a lot of us are jumping from Zoom to Zoom from different podiums. But as players, how much, if at all, do you guys discuss what you see, which is over the last 4 coaching cycles, only 4 Black men have been hired for 27 vacancies. How much do you all notice it? How much do you all discuss it amongst yourselves? And how frustrating is it, if so?
We talk about it a lot. I mean, that's like, I feel like that topics like that are just important as, you know, every other topic that's being talked about in our world. It's just not being talked about as much, if that makes sense. You know, you got, we talking about, you know, the Capitol getting stormed. We talking about, you know, we talking about inaugurations. We talking about who's president. We talking about who's getting killed. We talking about all these different things, but we're not talking about, you know, why the fact that, like, just keeping it real, why there aren't more Black coaches, you know, being put in charge of teams. You know, we all know the head coach runs the team basically. So it's like, you know, why isn't there being more? You know, why don't we see more? You know, who knows? You know, could be traces back to our roots. It could be, you know, things that's happening in our current time, in our current situation. Some might call one scared, you know, scared to take that first step and giving that man that platform, giving that man that opportunity to show what he can do. You know, we speak on equality all the time, but is it really truly equal? You know, is it really truly, you know, are we really truly still fighting for equality? You know, you make you question a lot of things. And keep it short.
To me, I just feel like, you know, when I met Luther, I just feel like God like set us up in like the right way, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we both needed a kind of like a friend, and like it was like boom, it like happened. Because I was playing basketball one day, and then like we just got introduced to each other, and then he was like, hey man, if you want me to start working you out, I can work you out. And boom, he just started working me out, and then I just got better. I got stronger, I lost weight, and I'm feeling great right now, you know. So yeah, this has been amazing, man. So you never know, man, like personal trainer, you know, some of these dudes will become like your lifelong brother, long lost brother that you never met.
All right, next we'll go to Chris Lilly.
Hey, Tyreek, you're around Byron Pringle a lot. What can you say about his ability to make the most of, you know, each opportunity he's given, despite, you know, limited snaps? And is he ever not smiling with a big grin?
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing about Pringle, man. The one thing that impresses me about Pringle the most, you know, he comes into work every single day, you know, smiling, laughing, and then G. Lou puts him in at practice for every single one of us, you know, during practice. And he does like all of the snaps and doesn't complain or whistle, you know. So for him just to be able to do that, then do special teams, then do scout team reps, it like that just blew me off the charts. And I was talking to G. Lou about that. I was like, man, we need to, y'all need to start giving Pringle some more chances, man, because this like here's a guy He doesn't complain about his job. He comes in and works. Whatever you guys tell him to do, y'all, he does it. And he's still the same guy. He always laughing. He always smiling. But I mean, you couldn't ask more from a teammate. So he's been great. Like he's been amazing, man. Like on our off days, me and Pringle hang out. I'm not gonna tell y'all what we do, but we got a book club. That's what I'm gonna say. We got a book club. Yeah, stick with that.
All right, next we'll go to Tyrann Mathieu.
Hey there. So you had 269 yards and 3 touchdowns against Tampa earlier this season. So what kind of worked for you in that game to have such a great performance? And then obviously you've been watching a lot of tape on Tampa recently. What have you seen leading up to the Super Bowl that you can kind of exploit and have hopefully as good of a game as you did a couple weeks ago?
Well, my ability to just, create separation in routes, and just blow by people sometimes. That's what I did the first game, and that's what I'm gonna kind of lean on, the second game, just my ability, just to run by guys. Now I know they got some very physical corners, some very tall corners, and some very good corners, but I mean, I feel like I feel like that's what the weight room for. Like I'm in the weight room, so if they try to jam me, I'll probably, run right through it or something like that. But the second game, man, I'm just hoping I can do the same thing. Just let me go and get that 269, 3 touchdowns, and then I can, win MVP. Come on, guys, let me get that, please. I said, please.
All right, next we'll go to Cameron Buford.
How deep you're trying to use emotional. I think every leader on this team is an emotional leader. I think just different types of emotions, there can be the heart-touching emotions. There can be the angry emotion, different players offer different type of leadership because their emotions are different. But, we have a couple of different guys, We got T5 who he is an emotional leader. He speaks from the heart. He speaks from, this is everything he had. You got Frank Clark who speaks in the same language, but more so with a little aggression, but he means well. I speak from emotion. If you look at it, Pat speaks from emotion because we put so much into this game, and that, when we feel like we're not achieving what we want to achieve, sometimes our emotions comes out. So it's just different types of emotions.
We're gonna go next to Blair.
Hi, Chris. First, congratulations. You've talked about before how, you're playing on defense, but even when you're on the sideline, you watch the offense like you're a fan. You're watching, you're learning from them. What have you learned by watching this offense, but also playing on defense? How does this matchup look to you? Everyone's talked about the Brady-Mahomes matchup, but it's so much more than that.
I agree with you. It's so much more than that. But, we treat it like any other game, we can be beat by anyone on any given Sunday. So we got to make sure that we correct things we can get better at and try to prepare for the team that's ahead of us.
We're going to go next to Jory Epstein.
Hi, Chris. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I know that COVID protocol isn't anything new for you and your teammates, but given how high the stakes are this week, does anything change in how y'all go about trying to avoid the virus or the conversations you're having around the building?
Yeah. Something about the NFLPA and NFL, they was able to come up with different type of restrictions and COVID issues and things along the way to help us as players to keep the volume of the virus down. So as long as you follow in the rules, I don't think, as best as you can, I think there's a low possibility of you contracting the virus. But, just follow the rules. That's what I think. You follow the rules, and it's a low possibility of it.
Hey, Clyde. Being a rookie and appearing in the Super Bowl in your first NFL season, what do you do to calm your nerves while you compete in football's biggest stage?
Man, I'm not gonna say necessarily I'm a nervous person, but I'm kind of a nervous person, so I tend to have the same routine, just to knock my nerves down. My go-to song that kind of calms my nerves is slow, but it's Too Much by Drake. And usually I listen to that before I go out on the field, and I feel like it calms me down. It calms my heart rate, lowers my heart rate, and kind of slows me down because it's a slower song. And I'm not a real big hype person before the game, so just being able to get my nerves down helps me not would only help me for this game, but it helps me for all of them.
Next will be Dylan Jesperin from TV Sports.
Hey, Clyde, congratulations.
Sure, appreciate it.
You're one of multiple LSU players on the field. I wanted to know what it meant to you, what LSU brought to you that you think helped you and so many guys get to this stage, and what lessons from your guys' run last year are you going to bring to this game this Sunday?
The biggest things, I feel like LSU helped me with just to this point, preparation and the way I compete every day. I went to, if not workouts, practice, study hall, whichever it was, I was going to compete, and that's what it was at LSU, and that's been my mentality ever since: compete, and that's the best part about it. That's what helped me. That's what helped me get to this point. I by being competitive, and it's helping me, stay at this level. So that's the best part, and second part of your question, I'm sorry, I forgot it.
Next, we'll go to Jenna Lane with ESPN.
Hey, Clyde. From your vantage point, the fact that you're a rookie and you didn't get to be part of this last year when your teammates were there, how much do you find yourself kind of listening to their stories about what their experience was like, their full Super Bowl experience, compared to what you get this year? I didn't know if at any point you kind of listen to that and you're like, man, I really wish we could be there for the full week and actually get a real Super Bowl week out of this.
It's been talk, just with the players from last year, just like, oh man, we would have been leaving this day or this day, but haven't really sat and talked to any guys or just overheard any guys just having a conversation about last year. Like, you hear spurts and oh, we did this last year, and then that's pretty much that, or we did that last year, or this week we would have been down there and we would have been doing media in person. Like, other than that, just knowing that media would have been in person and it would have been 100,000 people in front of me to do media, it's been just kind of quiet.
The media, the extended media and things like that. But Coach Reid does a tremendous job. You could just tell it's not his first rodeo, stacking these days together, just making it feel so normal or so natural for us to not have to go out of our ways to like do things. We just being ourselves, typical week, and just getting ready for a game like it's any other away game.
Next question will come from Tyrann Mathieu of WJPZ FM. Tyrann.
Hey, Anthony, appreciate the time. So Rob Gronkowski is obviously one of the best tight ends in the history of the sport. And you have the opportunity, I would say, to line up against him come this Sunday. So how are you attacking that challenge of guarding him, and what do you see on film that makes him a tough guard?
Yeah, Gronk's been a tough guard, his whole career. Big body, uses his body well, got great soft hands. So, I mean, it's a challenge. Obviously, he's another Hall of Fame guy. But I mean, it's a good challenge for us and for me and for the rest of our backers and things like that. So we have different calls to get help. We have calls where we just want our leverage and play ball. So he's got even better at blocking since he's been in Tampa. So hats off to him for working at it. That's one of the things I've seen on film that he improved on throughout the year. So he's becoming a complete tight end. Looks like he got many years left in him. So yeah, it's going to be a tough challenge, but I'm here to complete the challenge, so I'll be ready for it.
Next question is from Jose Gabriel Gomez. Jose.
Hi again, Anthony. For the Bucs, obviously all the lights, everything goes to Brady and the passing game. But how you see the running game? How is important for the Bucs offense to run the ball with Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette?
Yeah, they have two amazing backs. I mean, we all know that, and they do a good job. If the backs are hot, they get them the ball. The backs are running well, they keep running. If the backs are catching well, they keep passing to them. So I think their backs is what make their offense actually go. A lot of people think it's Tom Brady dropping back 40 times, but I think the backs has everything to do with creating the play action for Tom Brady to hit the deep ball to Gronk and over the top with Mike Evans and even hitting the backs in the flats and things like that. So, I mean, I think they feed off that run game, and as the run game, is doing well, that sets up the play action for Brady, which he's been doing for years now. Play action, hitting the seams and things like that. So I think the running backs is what make their offense go, and then it's our job to make it one-dimensional and just make them drop back 50 times without having to play fake or biting on a play fake.
You're fighting the invisible man. So it just it gets you when least expected, and we're seeing that everywhere. And so it's an unfortunate thing. These guys were being as safe as they could be, and we'll just see how it goes. But the league's got built-in rules and regulations, and so we follow those, and it'll all work out. I mean, it'll all work out for them when it's all said and done. So, but you follow the rules, man. They're there for a reason. These guys have done a great job with it. I mean, my hat goes off to the NFL and to all these teams for doing this. I think we all know that it's a tough situation, and you're fighting germs, and they're hard to see, man.
Got time for one more, and we'll go to Peter Carline. Go ahead, Peter.
Hello. 16 years ago, you're preparing to face Tom Brady in a Super Bowl. How different do you think the Brady of then is to the Brady of today?
I don't see much difference, which is quite an amazing thing. He is he's a special guy, and he's done a great job keeping himself football young, and his arm is still alive. His will to win is alive, and he's been fun to watch over the years.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Okay.